We love football.
Hi, everybody. Welcome into NFL Primetime. Glad you are here with us. Ryan Clark, Jeff Saturday, Tim Hasselbeck. Wow! Yes. Unbelievable. So both the Eagles and the Bears entered this game with a lot of confidence, right? Philadelphia has been there, done that before with Nick Foles as the backup quarterback. And the Bears entered this game as only the fourth team in the Super Bowl era to lead the NFL in the regular season in scoring defense and total takeaways. The previous three all went on to win the Super Bowl. There will not be a fourth because that guy, the magic is real and it's spectacular. Here we go. What a game at Soldier Field. Dick Butkus and Brian Urlacher trying to get people fired up. Early on, no score. It's 3rd and 6, and Leonard Floyd gets home and hits Alshon Jeffrey. Nick Foles did against his former team. So the Eagles now trying to capitalize on a 3rd and 7, and there's Leonard Floyd taking him down from behind. Violence level on that sack, Ryan Clark, was pretty strong.
Very high.
Eagles settled for a field goal. Second quarter, Foles looking for Alshon Jeffrey. He's better at that than anyone.
Listen, he gets the ball out so quickly under duress, just anticipating where Jeffrey's going to be.
So that's the good from Nick Foles, but of course he's the backup for a reason. Every once in a while this will happen over the middle. And what a great play, though, by Roquan Smith, just to take it away, Ryan.
Well, listen, right here, you're thinking that Nick Foles makes a bad throw, but Roquan Smith makes a top 10 play. This is why you draft this guy 8 out of Georgia.
So Bears now with it, 3rd and 10, and Mitchell Trubisky, and a lot of people's hearts skipped a beat on this one. Watch as he pulls up there a little lane at the end. You thought he went into the medical tent, he would be okay. The Bears settled for a field goal to tie it at 3. Next, Eagles drive. Foles scrambling around, and looks like that one was going into the end zone. It's picked off by Adrian Amos. Pressure on that one, Jeff.
Yeah, listen, he's trying to step his way out of the pocket. He's rolling to his right. Bad decision, throws in a ton of coverage on the backside, but I think the pressure made him pull the trigger a little too quick.
There you see Floyd. Did they just maybe get a piece of the ball right now? Nice job, that Bears defense doing what it's done all year, taking the ball away. Now, here comes Mitch Trubisky and company, and this play would come back to haunt them. They first ruled incomplete, but then they said it was a catch and a fumble. But because there was no clear recovery, it's as if the catch never happened.
There's everything wrong with this. One, they ruled a catch, it's ruled incomplete. Really, it's a shame that this happens. This is a huge play for Chicago's offense that doesn't even count. I mean, I think everybody was confused about this.
We all were, and the explanation by Tony Correnti and company was no good. Nobody picked up the ball. So rule number 1, Ryan, what do?
Always pick up the ball, Trey.
Except the officials. You don't want the officials to pick up the ball. So instead of 1st and goal, they settle for a field goal. They're up 6-3 at the half. Midway through the 3rd quarter, it is still 6-3, and it's 3rd and 6 for Philadelphia. Foles throwing that one in, but Adrian Amos comes in and puts the big hit on Ertz. This was a clear call here.
Easy call for the officials.
Helmet to helmet there. So the Eagles' drive stays alive. Later in that drive, 2nd and 2, Foles airing this one out for Jordan Matthews, but Prince Amukamara all over him, Ryan, and that's going to draw a flag every time.
When you go deep, you're looking for an incomplete pass, a catch, or a penalty. Here you get the penalty. It's a spot foul. Huge play for the Philadelphia Eagles.
So as Tom Sizemore's character said in Saving Private Ryan, we're in business, and the Eagles cash in. Dallas Goedert with the 10-yard touchdown. Great play design here.
Good play design also helps when the defense plays with 10 guys on the field.
Well, that was
play design and bad play design on the other side.
That was the great play design. 1 minute left in the 3rd quarter, and there's one. Mitchell Trubisky goes to Allen Robinson for a 45-yard completion.
Yeah, and this is, these double moves for the Chicago offense started to, really pay dividends against that Eagles secondary that was jumping routes.
But again, it just led to a field goal, so they're down 10-9. Early 4th, 3rd and 11, Trubisky. He made those throws all night, Ryan. Those were his best throws.
Trubisky got the ball down the field, but also inside the numbers, he was accurate all day.
And then they started working the double moves right there to Joshua Bellamy for a 34-yard gain. You see the pump right there.
Listen, they're faking the bubble screen. They hit Bellamy down the sideline. Again, Trubisky now all of a sudden taking shots down the field and connecting on him.
So the next play, it's 1st and 10, and Trubisky, one more time, the double move gets him open, and Robinson is in for the 22-yard score. Forget the flag, it's against the Eagles. The Bears go up 15-10.
Yeah, nice double move right here. You see him, breaks the coverage, gets away from it. Can't peek in the backfield. Corners kept looking back. As soon as you do it, you're going to slide behind you. Great execution. Little double tap with his feet to get inbounds.
Okay, so it's 15-10, so you know Matt Nagy's got something creative. That's Khalil Mack in motion. When they put it in for Taylor Gabriel inside, no, sir, they don't get it. The Bears settle for a 5-point lead at 15-10. And then it really got interesting. Under 5 minutes to play, Eagles with the ball. Foles to Alshon Jeffrey. Boy, I tell you, he has something with Jeffrey and Ertz. They are just lightning with him together. 2 plays later, will pump fake, then underneath the Dallas Goedert. And what a great play. Boom, bang, breaking tackles, fights for a 10-yard first down. Terrible tackling, but a great job by Goddard. The first-round pick proving he is worthy of that. Yeah, that's a first down. 2 plays later, it's 2nd and 2. Foles. There's the other tight end, Zach Ertz, over the middle, 13 yards. Ertz is fired up. The Eagles moving down the field. Deja video. We've seen this before. It's a 3rd and 9, and there's Jeffrey for a huge 11, a crucial first down. The Eagles now 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Darren Sproles, no, Khalil Mack does his job, brings him down. Next play, they go one more time. Sproles, no good. So it's now 3rd and goal. Throw that one into the end zone, broken up there at the last minute by Kyle Fuller. So now playoffs on the line. Roll right, and Foles hits his man, Golden Tate. A golden transition at the trade deadline. He comes in, and the Eagles lead at 16-10. So with under a minute to play and 16-10, you know what comes next, Tim. You have got to go for the 2-point conversion, and here is the play that they drew up for the 2-point conversion. It's a direct snap, and the ball gets knocked out, but was it over the line? They ruled it was no good. You could make the case, Jeff, that it did break the plane, but was it clear and obvious? They said no. So they kick off leading one, and Tariq Cohen, who was really limited to touches in this game, he touched it when he needed to. Sets up a huge return for the Bears. They're in business. 2nd and 10. Trubisky to Allen Robinson, and right now you know they're in field goal range. There's still a timeout left here. Great job on the outside throw.
Probably his best throw all night. It's a corner route. He's got to back shoulder it because of the coverage. Huge play in that situation.
Absolutely. So after a couple of plays, they call the timeout to ice Cody Parkey. He makes it. Now would be the time to remind you that in Week 10, Cody Parkey hit 4 uprights. And on the potential game winner, left upright and the crossbar. The double stoink. And that's how the Bears season ends. The Eagles, once again with Nick Foles leading the way, and a fortuitous bounce or two, see their season continue. Parkey can't believe it. Trubisky can't believe it. Absolute heartbreak in Chicago. Absolute euphoria. No, really, that's what Nick Foles looks like.
That's as exciting as euphoria.
He's a level-headed guy.
Super Bowl MVP trade. This is nothing. This is wild card weekend.
Just like that, the Eagles, with what they like to call Saint Nick, survive, advance. The dream is still alive. They win by a point, 16-15. Foles on the day, 25 of 40, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and after the game, our pal, Sal Pal, with St. Nick.
Congratulations on a very emotional, big win for you and for your football team. You're on the goal line, 4th down. What are you thinking at that point?
I think at that time, they were doing a really good job stopping us the first 3 times. So really I knew they were going to bring everyone. Just let Golden do his thing and let's work that route. And he did a great job making a play and catching it.
You guys came back over and over again in this football game. What was it about this football team that allowed you to have such resilience?
I mean, it's the relationships in that locker room. It's I threw 2 picks in the first half, really put us in a bad position, but everyone still believes. Everyone just stays positive, keeps working together, keeps communicating. Our defense did a heck of a job tonight, really keeping us in the game. And, in the second half, we were able to get something going, just enough to win. And, it was a crazy fight game. The Chicago Bears are an unbelievable team.
And boy, when Cody Parkey lines up to kick the winner, what are you thinking?
I love Cody. He was my teammate before. He's one of the best kickers in the NFL. I mean, all of us here, we're just hoping for a miss, but, he's a guy, he's going to make that, 99 times out of 100, we were just fortunate that we had the one miss. So
See you in New Orleans.
see you in New Orleans.
All right, brother.
Thanks, Al. Appreciate it.
Back to you.
Again, that's euphoric Nick Foles. He is as even-keeled as it gets. So look at this list. Foles produces magic once again, recording his second playoff game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime, with the other coming, in Super Bowl 52 against the Patriots. He's one of 4 guys with multiple game-winning drives in the postseason since 2013, when Foles made his first playoff start. The others on this list, good company. TB12, Russell Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers. Oh, unbelievable.
Wow. Wow.
We're all watching this game in the green room as before we came into the set. We're thinking, he's going to do it again. Nick, is there any reason to doubt Nick Foles and this team at this point, Jeff?
No, you're looking at St. Nick. I mean, and you can tell everybody's buying in. And fourth down, it's all on the line. You put it in his hands. I mean, you think about the guts. They run it the first 2. Third down, it looks like there's no chance. Come back on fourth down. They all in on Nick Foles, and he continues to show. And we kept talking about as we were watching the game, how many throws he made under duress, under pressure, taking a shot in the chest, having to avoid one fall off and make it. Just an incredible day. And you can tell everybody on this football team has bought in. They got, like Chris Long says, they got a statue for him and ain't changed him a bit. It's unbelievable.
He threw it 40 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, find me another team playing in the postseason that could have their backup quarterback go in the game, throw it 40 times, rely on him, and they win the football game.
Against the number 1 defense.
Listen, there isn't one. Yeah, guys are getting benched when they played Chicago's defense this year.
You're losing jobs.
And he talked about it there. He throws the pick, he throws actually one really bad pick in the first half. Throws 2 of them, actually. And so, then you're in a situation where now all of a sudden, like, is there a panic? What's the situation? No, not any panic whatsoever. Continuing to count and rely on the guy. And I just think that there is something special about the way he plays and how it fits with those guys. You mentioned Alshon Jeffrey and Zach Ertz. Because they're big, with big, huge catch radiuses, and his willingness to stand inside the pocket, I think it makes those guys even better.
Guys, I think what we're missing, and I don't want to be like the biased defensive guy here, but they gave up 15 points.
Right.
And
You're exactly right.
You look early on in this season, the problem in the secondary is giving up all the big plays this team had given up. And since Nick Foles has been the quarterback, we've seen more pressure. We've seen better play in the secondary. We've seen other guys step up around him. And obviously his play, his big throws in that fourth quarter drive, the touchdown, the Golden Tate, all of those things are huge from his position. But the way that this team has rallied, the way this team has come together in the absence of Carson Wentz, I think is even a bigger story to me. You're watching guys make play after play for Nick Foles, also on defense, and it's been amazing to see this team transform the way they have since Carson Wentz's injury.
We talk about it a lot. We talk about scheme. We talk about players. We talk about design. How much does belief matter?
No, belief is huge.
Oh, absolutely.
You look, we're watching today, right? We're watching Lamar Jackson, and I'm looking at the sideline, and I'm saying, wow, they have a Super Bowl MVP as a backup. Well, so do the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
And when he steps in and plays, you have every confidence that you can go and win games. I mean, you only beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick with the fourth quarter touchdown drive. So you know when you have this guy, you have not only a competent quarterback, but a Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl winning quarterback, and he makes plays like that.
And we were just making fun of, this is euphoric, right, Nick?
Right.
But there's something about that when you're in a huddle and a guy has this calming presence, and it's like nothing shakes him. Like Tim said, throws an interception, a bad throw, probably walk back to the boys, hey, man, my fault. Right. I'm going to give this. And there's just something about guys like that when they're in the huddle and you can look in their eyes and there's no chaos. It's just calm, it's cool, it's collected, and he understands the next play matters. I think when you find guys like that, people gravitate towards them, and that's what the Eagles are doing right now.
It's an amazing thing for a guy that was going to give up football a couple of years ago.
Wow.
And Doug Peterson and company talked him out of it because he liked the way things were working in Kansas City. And another person who really likes the fact that Nick Foles is still playing is Alshon Jeffrey after the game Sal Paolantonio with the former Bears wide receiver.
What an emotional win for this football team and for you in this stadium. So when Nick Foles has got 4th and goal, what are you thinking right there?
I honestly thought we was going to run that play on 3rd down, but it all worked out. I mean, thanks to the man above, our team, our locker room coach Doug, calling hell of a play calls. I mean, we sticking together.
And then when Cody Parkey's lining up to kick that winner, what are you thinking, man?
hats off to Coach P for calling that timeout because I think he made the first one. So hats off to Coach P.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Oh, they're flying. they are flying, and they not be coming down for a while. They go to New Orleans. The Cowboys now go to the Rams. Absolute abject disaster, though, for the Chicago Bears, right? I mean, this was a team, they had the lead at the half, but this was a tale of two teams in that first half. The defense played really, really well. The offense couldn't seem to get out of its own way in the first half.
Yeah, they had every chance to put them away early. I mean, we talked about Nick Foles making those mistakes. You have to take advantage of them at some point from an offensive standpoint, as well as your defense has played, and as many as opportunities, you have to make it play. And you look, the Eagles' defensive line, man, they stepped up. They got pressure in Trubisky's face. You heard him talk about it on the broadcast about, hey, if you make him take off his first read, it's going to make it difficult. Almost threw a pick six right there. But you're looking at Fletcher Cox. I mean, you understand what is Chris Long had a heck of a day, making plays, getting inside pressure, putting pressure on the outside. Michael Bennett pushing the pocket, guys spying him and running with him. Those are all the things that the Eagles defensive coordinator Schwartz did to kind of make Trubisky uncomfortable, and he never found that rhythm and just kind of left them in the ball game through that first half.
This is sort of the entire Chicago Bears season, right? I mean, there were a couple of games when everything clicked and Mitchell was making a lot of plays with his feet and a couple of big throws, but there was always the yeah, but factor, it seemed like, Ryan, with the offensive side of the ball for Chicago.
No, it absolutely was, and I think that factor was Mitchell Trubisky, but when you look at this second half and some of those throws that Trubisky made, he made the plays that he needed to make, and that's why it's a team sport. And obviously, when you're the Chicago Bears and you play defense the way they have all season, you hold a team to 16 points, you expect to win that game at home. But the Eagles did a great job of keeping them out of the end zone, forcing them into kicking field goals. They had that two-point conversion play that looked really fun to practice, but it wasn't very effective. It was all window dressing. And so the Eagles found ways to keep their offense in the game and found ways to give Foles an opportunity to make plays, and they did.
And he certainly did. Meanwhile, head coach Doug Peterson at the podium now. Let's take you there live to listen.
The run kill to that play. And we just, Nick and I, we talked on the sideline and we said, you know what, let's just run the sprint out. So actually that was the third play in a row that we ran and well executed.
He successfully ran that play in 2012 to win a game on a last-second touchdown to Jeremy Maclin, if you recall, and he called
Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Did he want this one too? I mean, did he call?
No, it was still part of the game plan. I mean, we knew that. Had a feeling that Coach Fangio, he's a zero blitz guy when you kind of got to have it, and felt like that it was the best thing to do was get him on the move at that time.
You walked in here, you appear to be still pretty emotional from the locker room.
I had something in my eye. Still do, actually.
Hey, don't ruin a good story.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah, I am. That was a great win.
What are you feeling right now?
I mean, just overwhelmed. I mean, that's a good football team, and Matt Nagy did a great job this season, and my hat's off to him and that Chicago Bear team. It's a tremendous football team, and quite frankly, just for us to come in here and just hang together for 60 minutes, we knew it was going to be that type of football game, and we hung in there. We made it wasn't pretty at times, but we made the plays when we needed to, and my hat's off to our guys and my coaches.
Yes, they got it's like the legend of him being able to continue to do this. That final drive, you're down, comes down the field, down to that last play on fourth down. I mean, he just always seems to get it done in the biggest moments.
Yeah, and he had some help. Golden obviously making the play at the end. Alshon made a big catch. Dallas made some huge catches. Zach, I mean, just go around the room there, and Nick is Nick. He's going to stay calm. He's going to stay collected. Very efficient. It wasn't it wasn't pretty at times. I know the two turnovers early in the first half, which could have led to some points, but he hung in there and did some good things.
As the Bears drove for that final drive there and set up for the field goal, what's going on in your mind in that situation?
Well, we were still talking scenarios for us offensively. Still had one timeout, I think, at the time, and just preparing to get the ball back and see how much time we had and just kind of getting ready for the next series.
Was there any thought to keeping that timeout in case you had to start going the other way?
Yeah, I mean, we could have. There could have been several things. I mean, obviously, turned out to be a pretty good decision to save it on the final play of the game.
You tried to ice Cody Parkey earlier in the game, and it didn't work. So, were you thinking to yourself, do I do it or not do it, or you were just going to go?
I was doing it regardless. I was doing it. I wasn't even thinking about the first half. I was going to use it. Wasn't going to take it with me.
But what is it about Nick Foles that puts him, that makes him different in those moments? I mean, he had the middle of the game was not very good for him. Then the last 4 minutes were kind of what we've come to maybe unrealistically expect.
It's playing quarterback in the National Football League. It's not always going to be pretty. But you have confidence in your offense. You have confidence in your quarterback, and you put it, quite frankly, put it in his hands to win. And he just does a great job of just staying in the moment, staying calm, and no panic. There was no panic on offense or on the sideline. And even after we punted the football there, felt like if defense got a 3-and-out, we just offensively just said, hey, we're going to put a drive together and score. And we set our mind to it and we did it.
How was his week of practice? Was he able to do everything that he normally would do? Was he limited by the?
Yeah, no, he actually did everything. We had the walkthrough on Wednesdays. There's not a ton of throwing there, and then Thursday, took everything on Thursday and Friday. So he had a normal week.
Doug, what was your thinking when Alshon had caught that first down pass down to the 2? You had 2 runs called first. What was? Can you?
Well, those were the two plays that had that kill attached to it. We still had plenty of time, and still had the timeouts there, and it's a run, kill to a pass. So we kind of had the best of both worlds there. And I credit the Bears. They came off the edge with the outside backer there and tackled us, and fortunately we were able to finish the drive.
You ran a lot on first down.
So we were talking about how euphoric Nick Foles is. Doug Peterson sort of falls into that same category. But we talked about this, Tim. He's been doing this since before week 1. Because what was it all summer long in preseason?
When's Carson back?
When's Carson back? What do you know? What do you know? And he's like, when they clear him, he'll play. When they clear him, he'll play. So he did this dance all along. And so he's got to be a little careful here in not being too effusive in his praise of Nick Foles because he knows what the franchise is dealing with.
It seems that way, but you also have to look at it.
It's amazing.
If you're the Philadelphia Eagles organization and you're saying, wait a minute, this guy, when he plays for us, especially late in the year, in the biggest moments, he delivers.
Right.
And so, listen, now is not the time for a controversy or anything like that.
But that's what he's doing
But
there.
I think that, listen, I think they have a real good appreciation, even if it's not effusive in praise of Nick Foles and the job that he did for what he's doing for them right now.
And look, again, none of this would be the topic of discussion if Cody Parkey had just made a 43-yard field goal, right?
Well, and I would say this, and I know Ryan was talking about it, I didn't want to be the defensive guy to, kind of rain on the parade. But Mitchell Trubisky,
he did his
throws
job
for over 300 yards.
Oh, bro.
And made a ridiculous throw on a corner route that helped eventually set up an opportunity to kick a game-winning field goal. Chicago Bears fans should be excited about the future of their organization with that guy playing quarterback because just like Nick Foles, when the game mattered the most, he did his job.
Absolutely.
And he did everything he possibly could at that point to give them a chance.
What makes this difficult from the Bears' perspective is they paid Cody Parkey in the offseason.
Right, yeah.
And he had the second most missed kicks this year, 7 missed field goals. 4 in one game at Soldier Field, Week 10 against the Lions. He had the quadruple stoink game. There's the one off the right, and that one goes off the left, and then this one went off the right. And so he favors the right side. So today, of course, he pulled it and hit it off the left. And he was booed pretty hard when he walked off the field at Soldier Field. So this is the problematic situation for the Bears right now. They've already sort of invested in this guy going forward. And you know how kickers are, and you know how players perceive kickers, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, it's the way that kickers perceive kickers. You look at Chris Boswell, a guy who from the Pittsburgh Steelers also signed a deal in the offseason, and when it started to happen, he went away. And then Cody Parkey, I was saying he was going to make it, Trey.
Right.
And you kept saying,
only one guy
four
here.
stoics. He's not going to make it. He's not going to make it.
We've seen this happen before.
And it was crazy to me. When he had those 4 misses, they didn't bring anybody in on Tuesday.
They stuck with him.
They stuck with him. They didn't even try field goal kickers out, so they knew that they were sticking with Cody Parker for this season. And it's really difficult now if you're a part of that team to say, you didn't see this coming?
Yeah. Right. Jeff, you've been there. You've done that divisional round against the Steelers, 2005.
Yeah.
Mike Vanderjagt, that kick was so far wide, right? It barely stayed in the stadium.
I literally remember hearing the sound, looking up, and as a lineman, you look up to find where the ball is, kind of in your periphery. I couldn't even find it. And then I hear the crowd going, and I'm like, what happened? And they're like, he shanked it hard right. It was a hard right. It's the most devastating loss I was ever a part of. Yeah. Thought it was in our hands, most accurate kicker, all kinds of nonsense like that. This is a brutal way to lose. When you feel like it's all there, I mean, it's the one that got away. It's difficult to overcome.
Of course, maybe you shouldn't have had 3 straight passes into the end zone. Maybe you got some yards.
Trey's calling out.
Didn't trust the O-line.
I had to do it.
Finesse team.
There you go. Oh, look at you.
Golly.
We'll hear from Matt
somebody
Nagy.
Get these knives out of my back,
We'll
please.
hear Matt Nagy and the Bears side of this a little bit later on this edition of NFL Primetime. But coming up next, hey, Lamar Jackson had a great rookie season. He didn't have a great first start in the postseason. Meanwhile, the old man, Phillip Rivers and company, somehow find a way to keep things going. And the 12-win team that had to play on the road is still moving forward. We've got that story when we continue. Chargers are going that way.